without Congress.
You talk about income inequality. Some experts say the real reason that you've got such income inequality is because of the weak Obama economic recovery. And let's take a look at some of the numbers there. Since the president took office, median household income has dropped from $55,900 to $52,100. Poverty has increased by 6.7 million to a record 46.5 million. And participation in the labor force has dropped from 65.7% to a 36-year low of 62.8%. Wouldn't a stronger, more robust economy and recovery solve a lot of these problems the president is talking about?
Well, absolutely. But I think it's important to remember this president inherited the worst economic situation since the Great Depression, a financial crisis.
But the recession ended 4 years ago.
Yes, and we have created, in the last 46 months, 8 million jobs. The unemployment rate has dropped to 6.7%. We're now producing more oil than before. The American auto industry is #1 in the world again. We are making progress, but there is more to do, and that's what you hear the president talk about.
Look, you say...
And I think it's important to remember that what we're trying to do here is restore opportunity for all Americans, grow the economy, and create jobs.
But you talk about restoring median household income is down, labor force participation is down, food stamps are up, poverty rate is up. If things are so great, how come they're so lousy?
I think we've made tremendous progress, but there's much more work to do. That's what the president has always said that. The American businesses, American workers are doing the right thing. Washington needs to help them, and that we have a series of proposals from last year and additional ones this year that will help. These are things that have been bipartisan in the past, like raising the minimum wage, infrastructure. If Congress were to do that, we would make tremendous progress. This can be a year of action. And we can make real progress, but we have to do it together, and if Congress doesn't act, the president will.
One of the things that people say is a drag on the economy is Obamacare, and I want to put up these numbers. According to a report last month, almost 400 businesses have cut workers and hours to avoid the employer mandate, and major employers like Target, Home Depot, Walgreens, and Trader Joe's say they are going to drop part-time workers from health insurance and direct them to the Obamacare exchange. Question, despite the president's promise, isn't it true that first you had millions of people who lost their policies because they were in the individual market? Now you're going to have people who are employed, part-timers, or even some full-timers, are going to be thrown out of their health care plans that supposedly they liked and are forced into the exchanges because of Obamacare.
I think I'd say first two things. When we passed the Affordable Care Act, every Republican said it'd be a job killer. Since it's been passed, we've created 8 million jobs in this country, for American businesses and workers.
Well, wait. The plan didn't really go into effect until October.
And second,
And you also delayed the employer mandate for a year.
Long before the Affordable Care Act, businesses made decisions about what kind of coverage they were going to offer and who they were going to offer to. What is different now is that if your business, your employer decides to no longer offer coverage, you have guaranteed access to affordable health care. Before the Affordable Care Act, you would be out on your own. If you had a pre-existing condition, you would never have a chance to get coverage. But that has been changed.
But a lot of people are being dropped because of the Affordable Care Act. Some of these companies that were employing and giving health insurance to part-time workers are now going to drop them because of all the regulations, all the expense, and it's going to be another case of millions of people who like their plan not being able to keep their plan.
If you go back and read the papers for the last decade, you will read stories every day of employers making the same decision. What is different now is that if your employer makes that decision, you have guaranteed access to affordable health care.
You're not suggesting, though, that Trader Joe's and Target and Home Depot and Walgreens, which just announced that they're going to throw people into the exchanges, that it has nothing to do with Obamacare.
They can explain what their reasons are. What I'm saying is that if your employer makes a decision, you have guaranteed access to affordable health care with better benefits than you had before.
On Friday, the Supreme Court said that the Little Sisters of the Poor do not have to comply with the birth control mandate as long as they continue to pursue their legal challenge. Does the White House insist that the nuns must sign a waiver, even though they say that this violates their religious beliefs?
This is a matter before the court. The court's going to hear the case. We believe that our rules have struck the right balance here, and we'll see what the court has to say.
But the Little Sisters say, and the court feels there's enough support for it, that they have stayed the birth control mandate. They say, the Little Sisters do, that even signing the certification, even just saying we're not going to do it, but the third party, the insurance company, can do it, that violates their religious beliefs.
Well, the court specifically says in their order that this should not be read as to have any indication of their view of the merits. So let's see what the court has to say.
But you're going to continue to insist at this point. You're not backing off the insistence.
No, right, exactly. There's a case before the court. They're going to rule, and we've made our position clear, and we think we struck the right balance.
And your position is that the little sister should have to sign that certification?
Yes.
No change in that?
No.
Okay.